Of course, what we are just seeing right now on your screen is actually live feeds from Ondo State, Nigeria, where the now governor of the state, the former deputy governor, actually did pass to the assembly the 2024 budget, and the state assembly there is deliberating on it. You can see there the speaker of the house there, of course, addressing members of the house, and they are deliberating on the budget for the state, a tune of over 300 billion naira there for 2024. And just to make sense of all of this, some of the items on the budget, that is, of course, we have News Central's business, of course, anchor, that's Perpetual Fasumi Peter, to give us some sort of update on this developing story. Perpetual, great to have you join us. What, of course, can we say about the activity right now that we see on the screen in Ondo State concerning the budget?
All right, thank you so much. So this particular budget was presented by then Acting Governor Aiyedatiwa. That was on the 21st of December 2023. That was when he presented it. And at that point, it was 384 billion naira. However, during the reading and all of that happened today. All the readings happened today, and now it has been passed by the State House of Assembly. So for the State House of Assembly, they did an upward review of that amount from 384 billion naira to 395 billion naira. So that is what we have now. And then when we look at what was there last year for 2023 budget, well, this is 2024 budget. So for 2023 budget, the total amount, or let's say the budget size, was 276 billion naira. So when you look at that, you see that there's an upward review between what we had in 2023 and what is being proposed for 2024. And one of the things that the members of the House have actually said is how that the removal of fuel subsidy had actually affected a lot of things. And they said that the removal of fuel subsidy affected implementation of the 2023 budget because that was passed last year, 2022. And at that time, nobody knew, subsidy was going to be removed. And so that had its attendant effect on, the budget implementation, and, some of the expectations and projections didn't get to work according to how they thought as a result of that. And so they also said that this particular budget, the 2024 budget, which they have passed now, awaiting assent by the governor, actually addresses some of those gaps. That's one of the things they mentioned. And then when we look at probably the recurrent expenditure, and we also look at the capital expenditure to a very large extent. I think it's a good one that I think the capital expenditure is much more than the recurrent expenditure, which is a very good one because we have to prioritize. You were saying something?
We have it on the screen displayed there, for viewers at home to see, comparing that of 2023 to 2024.
Absolutely. So when you look at that, you see that recurrent expenditure for 2023 was 130 billion naira, the capital expenditure 146.1 billion naira. However, looking at 2024, I'm particularly looking at the fact that they have continued on a particular trend, and that trend is ensuring that the capital expenditure is much more than the recurrent expenditure. And when you look at the recurrent expenditure, that attends to so many things. There are so many things that are involved in all of that, and I believe that in the coming days we'll be privy to much more information about the budget breakdown. We'll get to know sectoral allocations and other line items really that this particular budget seeks to address.
All right, now Perpetual, one of the key issues or key aspects that I'm sure quite a number of people will be looking at has to do with the health sector. We know that, of course, the former governor, talking about the late Rotimi Akeredolu, actually did die as a result of health-related issues. What do you see this particular very unfortunate event that happened sort of influencing what might go to health in the state?
Well, to a very large extent, you can't be so sure about that. But I want to believe that, you would want to pay attention to the health sector because you want to look at what has happened and all of that. And that state also has a medical university and all of that. So I think the state is on the right path when it comes to health. The state actually tries as much as it can to allocate as much as possible to health and some other things in that regard. So I think that's going to be sorted. And away from that, we're also looking at some of the things that would maybe some let's talk about probably allocations to some other sectors that might be, which we will get to know in the coming days. However, we hope that health, agriculture, gets the large chunk, education. These are the areas we hope that, or the sectors we hope we get the larger chunk. And to a very large extent, we see that this particular administration is also interested in alleviating, poverty alleviation. And that's something you would see, that's about this particular administration. Now, I'm talking about from head to toe. Now, that's from the federal government. There is this thing about, talking about social security, and that's something that a good number of the state governments are also looking into: social security, ensuring that people are cushioned as a result of some of the reforms that have been undertaken. So these are some of the things we are looking at, and we also see that they are interested in ensuring that they shore up the internally generated revenue, and that's something I feel is also very important. Shoring up the internally generated revenue of that state will go a long way, really, in ensuring that we do not continue this whole trajectory of borrowing all the time. And then when we look at how they hope to probably fund that particular budget, they highlighted four things, really, four areas that they talked about: statutory allocation, the VAT, the grant, and then internally generated revenue. And I must say that they are taking the internally generated revenue very seriously. If you listen to the conversation, even in the House, they were talking about a particular bill, ensuring that that particular segment or that particular sector or that particular agency or arm of government is armed with everything it needs to do its work very well. And they are saying that all the agencies, the fiscal agencies, that's the fiscal committee agencies that fall within that line, should also do the needful to ensure that the internally generated revenue is actually, upped. And that's a very good way to go, really, if you ask me.
All right, Perpetual Fasumi Peters, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
We'll go on a quick break. When we return, of course, the conversation continues. Stay with us.